You're good enough for Detroit, Jay.
But he can't bear what comes from the
Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and three toes. I will beat your ass.
Here comes that pressure. Mayfield in the middle. It's intercepted. It's Derek Barnes. Seattle's got to make a stop. Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to throw it back to Goff. Who had that on the bingo card? And a second. Oh, here's a little trickery. St. Brown back to God. Lee Flicker's got Laporta wide open. Sam Laporta foot race towards the end zone. Diving touchdown. Unreal. 52 for the win. It is just good. Just inside the upright. Jake Bates, hometown hero. And the Lions have come all the way back. Here comes the heat. It's Hutchinson again. Number 3, the hat trick for Aiden Hutchinson.
Blocked there by Zylstra. It's caught by Jamison Williams. There he goes. Foot race with Miller. Foot race with Savage. That is 6 for number 9.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Pride Podcast, episode 416 on the Blue Wire Network. I am your host, Tyler, joined by my main guy, as always, Mr. Malcolm Hart. Malcolm, how are we feeling after that game?
Let's fucking go, man. Let's go, man. Whoa! I'm doing great, man. Yo, another Lions dub. We're back, baby. We're back. We're back.
You know, the Lions needed a game like that really, really badly. A lot of negativity recently. And, you know, that's a game that's going to make the fan base ease in a little bit more. You're not going to be fully back-pocketed, and you shouldn't be, but that helps it ease in a little bit. That's a good win, man, on Thursday Night Football versus a team that's really hot right now. The Lions just went out there at home, took care of business. I thought they kicked some ass today, especially offensively. This is a game that I kind of been waiting for. Shoot, it feels like almost all year. I mean, we've had some spurts of it, but like since the bye week, they just haven't had that game offensively. And it felt like today, whatever they wanted, they got it going. It was clicking all well, and it was versus a good team. You know, you want to see a versus a good team, and I thought that's what the Lions did today. Malcolm, man, let's start with this Detroit Lions offense, man. When you watch this Detroit Lions offense today, what's the first thing that really stood out to you tonight?
Well, it looks like the offensive line play did show up a little bit better this game than they have in the past as far as protecting Goff. We saw some guys subbing in and out that interior line, and we saw Miles Frazier, and that was a big boost. Miles Frazier did have his ups and downs. We did see some penalties with Miles Frazier, but, I mean, those guys, they actually protected Goff really, really well, and Goff was able to make those big throws.
Yeah, absolutely, man. They were able to do essentially, I mean, that passing game was a weapon today for the Detroit Lions offense. It's like whatever they want to get going in that passing game, it was automatic, it felt like. I mean, Goff was distributing that ball. He was balanced. It was going to everyone. I mean, you saw Jahmyr Gibbs had a big game in the passing game. Amon-Ra St. Brown, who we were even questionable was going to play in this game, has a big game out there. Jamison Williams, it seems like that connection was really get going. Really good day for Jared Goff, and it is a big shout-out to that offensive line because there was some movement. You know, like, you know what you had in your tackles with Decker and Sewell. You had Graham come back in center who missed last game versus Thanksgiving, and then you had Ratledge at right guard who you knew about that. But the left guard spot, when you saw Oshika was downgraded out, that was interesting because Oshika has been the guy that has stepped in since Mahogany's been hurt, and he's had some ups and downs, mainly a lot of downs. When he was when he was in that left guard spot. Today, it was interesting. You know, they had a little rotation of guards between Tristan Colon, who we've seen play guard and center, and the rookie Miles Frazier making his NFL debut today. And Dan Campbell actually just said in a comment right now, they didn't intend for Miles Frazier to play as much as he did today. He was just impressing him that much that he deserved the rotation and to, have the opportunity to keep going back out there. So they just wanted to get a look at him for one series, but they were impressed with him, and they gave him some more opportunities throughout the game. You saw them go back to Cologne. And Cologne, after getting benched or soft bench, whatever you want to call it, I don't know if they had the intention to do that. He stood up. I thought he had a way better game after his first series. So shout out to those guys, man, because that's been the biggest question mark from honestly since Frank Ragnow retired. It's like, who is going to step in for these guard spots? Who's going to step in this interior? And from now until whatever week we're in right now, week 14, we still haven't figured out that question. And I'm not saying we've figured it out yet, but today was a step in the right direction. I thought the Cologne, Miles Frazier, they did their jobs well today. That's a good Dallas defensive line, especially after the deadline. And they held up very, very well, especially in the passing game and giving Goff that time in the pocket to make those passes.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the first few drives, and it looks like you're like, oh no, here we go again. It looked like we're trending back to what we saw a few weeks ago with that interior line just not be able to protect Goff, and Goff just had to even get the ball out really quick. But it looked like as the game went on, they really settled in that interior position, and they played really well, man. They were a really bright spot of this offense in general, just that interior line. This is how they played.
Absolutely, man. It was a nice sight to see, man, because we haven't seen it all year, and it was nice to see the rookie because that's a guy we've been talking about for the last couple weeks. When he started returning to practice, I said, could this guy potentially be, not necessarily the savior, but could he help be a spark, right? At least be a spark for this guard spot. And I thought today, especially in the run game, I thought Miles Frazier was a spark today. And this is his first game. He got his feet wet today, and I thought that was a good game to get his feet wet with. And, now you got 4 more games left in the season. I'm interested to see what his role is going to be going for because, Tristan Colon was impressive as well as the game went on. And then Miles Frazier as well was impressive. So maybe we see the Lions continue this potential guard rotation drive by drive. I mean, we've done that in the past, not in this.
Oh, God, no.
It didn't work out necessarily.
Oh, God, no.
But I didn't hate it today.
Today, I felt like they kind of had to. I don't think it was a situation where they wanted to, but I think they just had to. They had to get some different looks in there because, the whole Ashika being out and the Cologne, he's not really – is he a typical guard or is he more of a center? I mean, I don't know.
He's like your Graham Glasgow.
He was struggling. He was struggling in the beginning. So it was a good idea for them to not just keep him out there and let him keep, throw him in the water, just keep letting him struggle. I'm glad they got a chance and put Miles Frazier in there and say, hey, maybe bring him to the sidelines, coach him up, let Miles Frazier go in there and see what he looks like. And, let Cologne go back in there and see what's going on, But I like the way they did it. Now, is that something they're going to continue going forward? I don't know. My main question right now is, and I hope it's an easy answer because it didn't look good for him when he was out there, Oshika. When he comes back, what's his role?
Oh, no. Come on, man. He's done. I don't need to see him ever again.
Well, damn.
No.
So Ashika is done. As the whole guard experiment with Ashika.
I'm done.
Ashika.
I've seen enough. I don't need to see any more Coyote Ashika. I mean, I like these guys that we had going forward, and then Mahogany looks like he's potentially returning very soon as well. So like, if he comes back, obviously he's going to be the guy.
Yeah.
But for the time being, till Mahogany's back, or if he does come back, I'm cool with roll with the best guy. If it's Frazier or if it's Tristan Colon.
Or what about if they do the rotation? Are you okay with that as well?
I wasn't a fan of it when they did it back then in the previous regime. I like having guys pick up a rhythm, right? Because I feel like when you do the rotation, it does kind of disrupt the rhythm and the continuity of the offensive line because, it is a continuity. You need all 5 guys working together. It's not just one guy doing his own thing. And they bring a different dynamic. So I would preferably like them to find a guy that they're more comfortable with and preferably roll with them. but know that the leash is short. Like if you are getting penalties or if you are struggling, kind of like how Cologne was in that first series where I think he gave 4 pressures on 7 dropbacks. Like,
God damn.
Like if that's the case, like the leash is short. We'll go into a Miles Frazier if you're struggling, but ideally, you want to find whoever the best guy is, and that's for the coach staff to determine that in the practice weeks and roll with whoever they think is. But like I said, if one of them is struggling, kind of like how Cologne was, hey, we got Miles Frazier, he's ready to go, or vice versa. We got Tristan Cologne ready to go. So I wouldn't want to see it going forward, but if they have to, they have to. But I would preferably have one guy.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I'd rather not, but if they, hopefully they can find that one guy. But like you said, what's the Mahoney's coming back soon, so that may be answering all those questions.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this passing game though, because we talked about this offensive line that helped, give the time for Jared Goff to have time in the pocket. That's a big shout out to those guys. Give them the credit. But I just loved how much Jared Goff was distributing that ball and the confidence he had, man. There was some big time throws out of him and his receivers having the utmost confidence. I thought Jameson Williams, one play where Goff had some pressure, it was a little bit of a wobbly ball, but Jameson Williams exactly pinpoints the ball, goes finds that ball, catch that ball. That was a phenomenal play by JMO. Just a big day from them, man. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs was a complete mismatch for any guy they had out there in the passing game. No linebacker was a good matchup for him. So you saw Goff really exploit that, especially in the first half. But I just love the way he was distributing that ball. I mean, 7 catches, 96 yards for JMO, 6 catches, 92 yards for Amon-Ra St. Brown, 7 catches, 77 yards for Jahmyr Gibbs, and then he sprinkled in a little bit Isaac Tesla, who got that touchdown, 2 catches for 20 yards. So just a very good day, distributing that ball, getting your playmakers involved, and keeping the Dallas Cowboys, on their toes, because you don't know who the ball is going to, and that's what you want to see when you have all these playmakers. So it's a big shout out to Jared Goff and a big shout out to Dan Campbell. I thought called a really, really good game as well. So it felt like Lions football today. Watching that Lions offense, they had their swagger back today.
Yeah, and you even see that they even tried getting a Dan Skipper play out there, which we saw earlier, which it was a fail. I mean, that play was a disaster. I mean, I don't know what happened. It was a disaster, but the fact that they even tried it is a good sign. I'm happy that they're trying to be creative and do some trickery stuff out there. But when you see looking at the numbers, looking at Jameson Williams and the way all these guys, Jahmyr Gibbs 7 receptions, this is how the line should have been used all along. Because these guys are so dynamic. Like it was just mind-boggling that we'll go to have games and Jameson Williams will have like 1 catch or 0 catches, 1 target, 0 targets. It's just mind-boggling that they couldn't draw a plays for him. And it looks like that they're doing a way better job now getting him more involved. Jameson Williams, he has this really special talent that he may be uncoverable because he is able to run full speed and break on a dime and then just break on the route on a dime and then just continue his speed. If they're using him correctly, this guy could be an uncoverable cover. And I'm liking what I'm seeing now. Like, it looks like he's getting more involved, getting more confident. I don't think he had any drops today.
I don't believe so, no. So
this Lions team, if they could play like this for the remainder of the season, look out.
Yeah. The thing I like what they're using with James Williams getting creative too, right? Like, you saw the end around, just get the ball in his hand. That was the big thing that we've been always saying, just get the ball in this guy's hands and see what he could do. And you saw the Lions are doing that, if that's a screen pass. We saw that last week on Thanksgiving where he just breaks a tackle and goes for the touchdown, high steps into the end zone. And you saw that again today, a little screen pass. He takes it not necessarily all the way, but like just a good gain, right? Good gain. You need those, right? And like you said, man, he's just one of those guys. If you just zone in on Jameson Williams, like look at the All-22 and just zone in on Jameson Williams, there's some guys in basketball, they call them ethical hoopers. Cade Cunningham, ethical hooper. Jameson Williams is like an ethical wide receiver, man. The way that guy runs routes is just ethical, man. It's just so crisp. It's so nice the way he gets open. And you're seeing it the last couple weeks of him just getting open.
I was going to pause you and say I was about to say Jalen Brunson, but I'm not.
I was going to before he started foul betting the playoffs versus the Pistons, but that's a different story on a different day. But yes, he used to be in that conversation.
No, go ahead. I didn't mean to stop you, man.
But no, that's what I mean. Like when you just watch Jamison Williams, man, just ethical, man. I love it, man. He's so crisp, and you're really seeing a bigger sample size of it, and you're seeing him get the ball. One thing I'm waiting for this year, we usually see it a couple times in a year, especially last year, is that big shot play. And today the O-line was kind of protecting him. I thought we were going to get that finally, that big shot play, that big 70-yard, 60-yard catch from Jared Goff to J-Mo. It seems like they're very close. And if this O-line keeps protecting like they are protecting right now, Goff's going to have the confidence to sit in that pocket and sling that boy because J-Mo gets open. He can get open on a go route. You just need to give him the time for Goff to sling that ball, and that's unfortunately we haven't had that. But if this O-line can play like how they did today, it's coming very soon.
Yeah, Goff had a few opportunities to make a home run play. He had one with Tesla that if he just left the ball inbounds, that would have been a wide open touchdown. And he had J-Mo in a few plays too. J-Mo just clearly beat his defender, and he just had to throw the ball up and just let J-Mo get it, but he didn't let it rip. That connection is gonna eventually come. Not really too worried about that. If they could just keep playing like this, I'm fine. Another person I want to bring up is the emergence of Jahmyr Gibbs in the passing game. I think that's just phenomenal that they're using him in that way, and they use him a lot. And he's just a mismatch against any linebacker in coverage. So they could go to this more often. Maybe not hand the ball off to Jahmyr Gibbs like 20 times. Maybe split it up and have him line them up out wide, and have him get one-on-one coverage against those linebackers, and let him do work. Like we saw today, he's just a mismatch against any backer.
100%, man. And I've been wanting this since we drafted him. Like when you drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, we know he could run the ball, right? Like the guy's a phenomenal runner. We know he could do that. But like when I looked at Jahmyr Gibbs when we drafted him, and obviously just watching him throughout the year, seeing his talent since he's been a Detroit Lion, one thing I feel like he's been very misused is in the passing game. I'm like, why can't this guy be Christian McCaffrey? Why can't this guy be like Alvin Kamara in his prime? Like one of those dynamic pass catchers. Like they're good runners, but they are a different animal in the passing game, and they are a complete mismatch for any safeties, for any linebackers. And maybe I'm blanking on the game, but today really felt like the first game that I feel like the Lions really used him in that role where like he's a dynamic pass catcher, and they're going to kind of not necessarily spam it, but they're going to exploit it. Like it's not going to just be one or two plays. We're going to use it many times in this game, and they're not just going to be screen passes. We're going to send him out on a little route, a little maybe Texas route, a little angle route, whatever it is. Send him out as a receiver. Like he has that talent where he could be a dynamic pass catcher. And I felt like today Dan Campbell as a play caller really used it because Dallas Cowboys, I mean, they've struggled with those type of running backs. The guys that could go catch a ball out there. What's his name? Murray, the linebacker. Kenneth Murray. I'm blanking on the guy's name. I think it's Kenneth. I'm thinking of Keegan Murray.
You can't remember shit. Don't ask me.
I think Kenneth Murray. I'm blanking on the guy's name. But whatever.
But I know who you're talking about. I just can't remember his first name.
Yeah. Former first round pick from OU, right?
Yeah.
Linebacker. He's struggled with running backs and pass coverage, and you saw, Dan Campbell really exploit that. So you're not going to be necessarily going against guys like that every single week, but he's a mismatch for anyone. I don't care who it is, man.
Yeah,
like
who could cover him? Who could cover one-on-one?
Who is covering that guy when Jared Goff has time in the pocket? So I want to see that going forward in the rest of his career, man. Like just be more of a weapon in the passing game.
Yeah. I mean, right now, you got to just make a guy and say who you want to focus his offense on. Like who's going to be the focal point of his offense? And right now, you just got to make that guy Jahmyr Gibbs. Whether it's in running the ball in the passing game. Yeah, I think this is like the first game that we've seen him actually run routes. Because usually you see Jahmyr Gibbs, he'll get swing passes, a lot of check downs.
Yes.
But this is like the first game where we've seen him run actually routes against these linebackers and just completely destroying these guys. Like these guys can't even cover him. And I think they could use him like that all year long, but they haven't. And this is a good sign going forward. Hopefully, they continue this trend. They could continue this trend. I can't wait to see next week. That just want to make sure everything continues for next week as well.
Yeah. Going on to the running game, right? I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs overall, I thought he was okay in the running game. Nothing really special today. I thought David Montgomery was really good today in his very limited carries. I mean, I know he broke for the 35-yard touchdown, so it makes his numbers look really, really good. But I thought overall, man, whenever they kind of needed those gritty yards, they leaned on Demo, man. You know, the time where the Lions were leading, right? And you kind of want to just burn a little time, get some nice, yards, right? You go get 7, 8, 9 yards. Demo, I feel like every time they called his number, and it wasn't very often, but when they did call his number, I thought was running the ball really well. And, it's been kind of unfortunate for Demo because Gibbs has been so good this year, so his role has been kind of minimized a little bit this season compared to the first 2 years since we've had him. But, just being consistent, man, every week. I feel like every time we see him, go getting that touchdown, that's good for him. But I like the way he was running all day today. I thought he was, picking up those big gritty yards and just kind of the guy you want when you're leading, right? When you're leading in a game, that's the type of running back I want. A guy that's just going to be a bruiser. Go get me 8 yards. Go get me 7 yards. Keep the drive going. Let's go kill this clock. And ideally go get a finish with a touchdown. But if we're finishing off with points and burning off 6-7 minutes off the clock, that's a really good day.
Yeah, man, David Montgomery, he's just one of those unselfish players. He's just really just unselfish. Like he understands the situation here in Detroit that, Jahmyr Gibbs is special. He understands that. But the thing with David Montgomery is that he could start for a lot of these NFL teams. So if he wanted that starting role and get 20 carries a game, he could have asked for a trade, But he understands his role here, and he still wants to be in Detroit. Even though his role did get, like you said, a little diminished with the emergence of Jahmyr Gibbs, but when he's out there, they're using him as far as pass blocking, the key pass blocker, to help give Jared Goff that extra time. But when you're talking about like running the ball, he had a really great game running the ball today, but he didn't get much carries. He only had 6 carries, so it's not like he did a lot, But he did have that big run. That 35-yard touchdown run that gave him that touchdown. But it's just the little things that he does in Detroit. Those little things as far as like protecting Goff, and he's just a guy who's just never going to complain about pretty much his role in Detroit or anything. So big ups to that guy, man.
Yeah. Before we shift gears to the defense side of the ball, I mentioned it a couple of times already, but this is just really a big appreciation for Amon-Ra St. Brown, man. I mean, the guy had every single reason to heal up this week. But he wanted to be out there. He knew this was a must-win game, but a guy that had 0 practice this week and a short week, well, not a short week because they played Thursday on Thanksgiving, but regardless, right? 0 practice this week. Missed pretty much the whole game last week on Thanksgiving with that ankle injury. He could have healed up. They had the mini bye. They don't play till next Sunday versus the Rams. But he went out there without any practice and just balled, man. He the numbers are good reception-wise, 6 catches, 92 yards. But he was blocking his tail off all single game. All game long, he was blocking his tail off. I mean, didn't really care that he had the ankle injury. It didn't look like he had an ankle injury at all. It didn't look like anything was bothering him at all. So big shout out to him, man. I mean, because, like we said, man, he was a true game-time decision coming into this game. And he just balled out there, man. And he was a great weapon, good security blanket for Jared Goff, like how he always is. That's just not a guy. Like, I feel like he's a guy we sometimes take for granted because he's so good, but like he just does it every single week. He's so consistent. So I just want to give him a little appreciation. The guy is different. The guy is really, really talented. He's really, really special. So shout out to Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie, man. I didn't think he was gonna play today. I did not. I mean, coming in, no practice all week. And still is out there. Still out there. He played his ass off.
First catch of the game, too.
First catch of the game, man. I think, like, he been getting a lot of shit from a lot of his fans this year.
He has, man.
And it's not deserved, man. This guy, he plays his ass off. And he proved it today. He, like you said, didn't need to be out there. He could have just let his ankle healed up completely. Because I know he's still hurting.
100%.
But he plays his ass off. Yeah, big shout out to him, man, because without him, man, it would have been tough. You know, these games going forward are must-win games, and I know he feels like that too. So just having him out there, it really benefited the Lions a lot.
Yeah, 1,000%, man. I mean, this receiving core without him, I mean, like Jameis Williams is great, right? And like you have Jahmyr Gibbs in the passing game, but it makes it a lot tougher for all these guys. Like, I mean, we just don't know much about Isaac Tesla right now. We've seen the glimpses, and it looks like he has a good future, right? Yeah, but he's just such a security blanket. He's such a good safety blanket for this offense, man. Whenever you need a big play out of him, he always delivers. And like you said, man, he's been getting some shit from the fan base. You know, he's had more drops this year than we're used to seeing out of him. And that's obviously a problem. You don't want to see that going forward. But the guy is just so talented, man. He is a really, really good football player. So I don't want it to be overseen because, like I said, man, he had no reason to really be out there. He could have fully been rested and get ready for that Rams game with a mini bye. But like you said, man, this was a must-win game. He knows that, and he wants to be a part of it. He wants to, you know, carry this, not necessarily carry, but he wants to be part of getting this team out of the rut and getting them back to the postseason and, you know, getting back to the big goal.
Yeah.
So, big shout out to him. So, let's talk about this defense now. Give up 30 points. First half was great. Second half, great start out of the half. Forget the interception from Derek Barnes. But, Malcolm, overall, you look at this Detroit defense. Would you take it as a positive or would you take it as a, like, what do you look at this overall defensive day? Because 30 points on landscape is not great, but I thought there was some good in there.
I mean, 30 points, yeah. But if you look at the numbers, I mean, I'm pretty sure, I mean, the Cowboys coming to this game, they were the number one offense in the league, weren't they?
They score points and they score them fast.
They score points and they score points fast, you know.
And they have guys.
Yeah. They played really well, man. I mean, what I wanted to see from this team, this defense is, are we going to be able to put pressure on the quarterback? Are we going to be able to speed the clock in Dak's head? That's what I wanted to see from this defense. And they actually showed that this game. You know, a guy that came out of absolute nowhere. You know, he came from the ashes. He rose from the dead. Al-Qadim Muhammad. Where the fuck did he come from?
I haven't seen him since Baltimore.
I mean, I would tell you guys now. I mean, he's 100%, 100% getting drug tested tomorrow. He's getting a random drug test tomorrow. That usually happens when a player has one of those breakout games out of nowhere. They'll tell you all the time, like, "Oh, drug test is coming." He knows it. So he had a huge game, 3 sacks. Al-Qadim Muhammad, man, wow, you know. But what I'm talking about as far as, you know, putting pressure on the quarterback, they were able to do that this game. They did make it really uncomfortable for Dak because he was pressured a lot this game. Pressured a lot, and they were actually able to get to him. And I'm glad that they went back to blitzing. You know, if you're rushing your front four and then you're not getting to the quarterback, it's just idiotic to just keep rushing the same front four and just letting the quarterback have all it. Blitz the fuck out of the quarterback. Just keep blitzing them. And that's what he did this game. They kept blitzing them, and they were able to put a lot of pressure on Dak and made it really uncomfortable for him in that first half. And you see the Dallas Cowboys, you know, they're a really explosive team, so you can't hold them back all game. And Dak was able to make some throws, but he's talking about his numbers, man. They were able to, you know, pick him up twice and get some, you know, they already get a fumble. They definitely won the turnover battle. This was a good look for this defense. And hope, like I said about the offense, we need to see this defense all year long, just like this. Keep putting pressure on the quarterback, force turnovers, and who knows where this season could go for us, man.
100%. You know, one thing you didn't mention, sacks are great because we haven't seen those a lot recently. Yeah. Takeaways are great. Yeah. That's just something we haven't seen from this Lions defense. And I just found this stat from David Burkett. Shout out to him. The Lions defense had 3 takeaways tonight, right?
Yep.
That is more than they've had in the 5 games combined, the last 5 games combined.
Yeah, it's been bad.
They have not been able to force takeaways.
Yeah. And I was gonna say that falls into play of putting pressure on the quarterback. You're not putting pressure on the quarterback. He has all day. They're not really gonna get much turnovers, you know. But you putting pressure on the quarterback, and they're able to do that.
100%. Yeah. I mean, that's a big thing, man. Is takeaways. The takeaway battle is usually the determination of if you're going to win or lose a game. If you're winning the takeaway battle, you are more than likely going to win the game. That's not obviously 100% given the fact. But you know what I mean, right? Stealing possessions away is humongous, and especially in games like this when the game is so high scoring, man. I mean, every drive matters because it felt like there was going to be points one way or the other for either team, whoever is going out there in offense. It's just kind of one of those games. But if you can lead the takeaway battle, you're going to win a lot of games. And they made things uncomfortable for Dak Prescott, and Dak Prescott has had a phenomenal year. I mean, we mentioned it. I mentioned the pregame show. The guy has been a phenomenal playmaker all year. It's phenomenal playmakers around him. I mean, even without CeeDee Lamb, CeeDee Lamb was having a great day before his concussion. But you just look at these pass catchers around him. I mean, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, who had a pretty quiet game today. I thought the Lions did a pretty good job. I don't know if it was necessarily the Lions did a good job on him or he kind of gave up. Didn't seem like he was mentally in it. It was a little weird for Pickens, for a guy who's been phenomenal this year. Jake Ferguson, one of the better tight ends this year. When you have all these pass catchers, the Dallas Cowboys are going to score points. That's just their MO, man. They have too many guys that you can't control. And it's kind of like how we talk about the Lions. You have to circle this guy. The Cowboys legitimately have, probably not counting their quarterback, probably have legitimately 4 guys that you have to circle. And that is, I would say, going into a game, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens.
Every position, bro.
Jake Ferguson, Javonte Williams. And then you see a guy like Flournoy. Who the hell is that guy? 9 catches, 115 yards. So maybe that's that guy. So you got to circle this guy too now. Who the hell is that guy?
Where did he come from?
No idea. But overall, they made things they made things uncomfortable. And the big thing too was red zone stops. They did a very good job in the red zone, holding the Dallas Cowboys to field goals. Brandon Aubrey that guy's a machine. That guy's not a real guy. So, I mean, if you have a field goal opportunity within midfield, he's probably going to kick it. But holding the Dallas Cowboys to 9 points at half and stopping them in the red zone, that is really, really, it's an encouraging sign from this Lions defense, man, and being able to pressure the quarterback. I mean, that's just some things they haven't been able to do since the bye week is pressuring the quarterback, getting the quarterback down, which is more important than getting the sack. And then third, takeaways, man. Takeaways. We finally saw that today, man. And you saw how big those plays were. And then kind of going back to the Lions offense, shout out to them for converting on the takeaways, because a takeaway is useless if you're not converting on them. So it's complimentary football, man. When you're doing all 3 phases well, you're going to see games like this. You're going to see an outburst where the Lions score 44 points and win a big game at home. So shout out to the defense, man. 30 points doesn't look great on paper. Second half was a little dicey at some points, but for the most part, pressuring the quarterback and takeaways, you're going to win a lot of football games like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a good sign. Just to see this team, this defense, talking about the defense, seeing this defense being back to how they were in the first few weeks of this year, of how they were playing as far as pressuring the quarterback and just being that bright spot. They had a really great game today. No matter what, that number says, even though like you said, 30 points, it's the Dallas Cowboys, But as far as, I want to talk about George Pickens here, man, because when CeeDee Lamb was on the field, he was putting up really great numbers. I think at halftime he had over 100 yards.
He's 6 catches, 121 yards.
Yeah. So, and that was at halftime.
Yeah.
So he was having a great game, but the thing is, when he went out, Pickens went with him. That's what it seems like. It seemed like they both left together. And I'm not sure if it was just him just mentally not there. I'm not sure if Meek just got in his head. I mean, we got to credit Meek Robinson because he's the one that was covering him, and he pretty much shut him out.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd love to, this. I'm going to give credit to the Lions front seven. I thought they played a phenomenal game today. Yeah. I thought the back seven was something to be desired, though. It wasn't great, man. I mean, I thought the secondary had a pretty rough game, and DJ Reed was getting picked on pretty much all night.
He was.
Amik at some point was getting picked on. Brian Branch was getting picked on a little bit. They were picking on our DBs a little bit, and Dak was having his way. The only time where it wasn't was when our pass rush was getting home, and that shout out to them. They were getting home pretty often, so that helped those guys. But the secondary didn't have a great game in general, especially DJ Reed. I mean, I know he's coming off an injury, but they signed this guy to be a guy. They gave him a 3-year deal. This is supposed to be their cornerback one, and I don't think it's a great sign that teams are picking on him. That's the number one option. That's usually. They were giving him like some guy just coming in for the first time. The guy is coming in for an injury. They were just going after number 4 all game long. And shout out to him. He made a play at the end of the game. He got an interception.
Yeah.
But, I wasn't very impressed with the DBs. I thought the front 7 played really good, though.
Yeah, they did. But, when I'm talking about Amik Robinson, he's the one that caused that interception.
He did.
He's the one that broke on the ball. Broke the ball up and batted it in the air, made the ball go in the air, made it get picked off. But going to this DJ Reed, I'm gonna say this. He is who he is. I mean, a lot of people had that higher expectation for him when he came into Detroit because he was a really good corner with the Jets. But he was a number 2 guy in the Jets, guys. I mean, a lot of people keep forgetting that when you're that number 2, you're covering the number 2. It was always Sauce Gardner covering number 1. Sauce Gardner was the one out shadowing these top receivers. Now he's coming to Detroit, and we're having this expectation now. Oh, he's gonna be the number 1 corner. It's hard to transition that way because he's used to covering these number 2 guys, and now he's covering being faced to cover these number 1 options, and these number 1 options is just better than him. He is who he is. He's a good corner, but he's not a great corner, guys. I mean, it's just who he is. He's not a great corner. He's a good corner, so he's gonna struggle, but. Hopefully it comes with this. Maybe he struggles, but is able to make a play, and maybe that play, maybe the game-causing play, like we saw today. But it's just who he is. He's just a good corner. He's not a great corner. I mean, I don't think he's ever going to be that great corner. It's going to be that shadowing that number 1 guy and lock him down and making big plays. This is not going to happen for him.
I didn't necessarily expect that, but I thought it would be similar to what we had last year with Carlton Davis and.
Carlton Davis was the number 1 guy.
He was, yeah.
He was the number 1 guy in Tampa, so that's a difference.
Yeah, I thought it could be a similar transition. I thought it wouldn't be a big transition, honestly, going from Carlton to DJ Reed. And so far it's he's been hurt, so it's hard to. It's a small sample size for him so far in Detroit, but in the small sample size, there's been a little bit of a downgrade and. They're missing, TA's now out for the year. That's going to stink. So, I mean, this defensive back room is really, really, really interesting. And then Brian Branch gets hurt too. And
that's going to be tough. That's going to be something to look out to because
there was actually an update right
there's an update. Here we go.
He was in boot and crutches after the game. And then
my goodness.
So. Yeah, this and then you had Thomas Harper today also go down too with the concussion.
Oh God!
And then God knows what's going on with Kirby Joseph right now. No one knows what's going on with Kirby Joseph. So this line's defensive back room is a little bad right now.
Well, the back half is the safety room is
it's like
destroyed.
Completely toast right now. Yeah,
it's destroyed right now. This is bad.
Yeah, it's I mean, Avonte Maddox I thought was fine for the most part.
He was good. Yeah, he was good. He was flying around the ball. He was good.
Yeah, I didn't mind.
Losing Brian Branch is gonna stink.
Yeah.
And even though I know he's giving up, he's not having his best year. There's a lot of what the hell plays with Brian Branch this year. But him not being out there is gonna be worse. It's gonna be worse if he's not out there.
Yeah. I don't know what's with this defense. I mean, they have those big miscommunication plays very often, it feels like. I mean, there was that one today, was that random receiver, Flournoy, whatever the hell you say his name. Yeah. Just completely wide open. I can't recall who it was. Was it Branch and Amik, I believe, was the guys on coverage?
So the way it works is that when you're playing man so much and not playing so much zone, when you decide to go zone, the communication is not the best.
Yeah.
This team is so used to playing so much man coverage is that when they decide to go to zone, the communications aren't the best. So we're gonna see broken plays because the communications aren't there. You're gonna see miscommunication because these guys are just not used to playing zone. The Detroit Lions is, to me, always never been a great zone team.
Yeah.
Because They just don't do it. They don't do it enough. I don't think they practice it enough. I don't think they do it enough. But yeah, it's just miscommunication. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it wasn't like anyone got cooked. It was complete miscommunication.
Yeah,
I mean, the guy was just
nobody
wide open.
there. There's nobody. Somebody's supposed to be there, but there's just nobody there. I mean, this is miscommunication.
The problem is it's just like we're at week 14 now, and I feel like we see this pretty often with this team. Maybe not necessarily like that, where it's like a 40, 50-yard wide open touchdown, but you're seeing guys get wide open pretty often. Just, there's always like, if not always, but like there's always that one or two play, it feels like almost every game, where there's a receiver who's open who should not have been open at all. Yeah. And like that's common. It's football. It's going to happen sometimes, but I don't know, man. It's the communication or what it is. I mean, I know they're shuffling through guys, but maybe that is what it is. They're just shuffling through guys. These guys are not comfortable with each other all out there all the time with all the injuries going on, but I don't know, man. That's the one concern I have with this defense. I mean, the front four, it's been spotty all year. It had some good games, had some bad games. The linebackers been phenomenal all year. The DBs, I mean, when they've had their guys, it's just like they're healthy guys, like the starters that they expected. It hasn't been great. Outside the Legion of Whom, like it feels like the DBs haven't been great outside that game.
Yeah.
So
it's been tough. It's been tough with them, man. But I don't know, man. Right now, I think my biggest concern is the Brand situation. Who, if he doesn't go, who's in there? Who's the next line? Who's the next safety?
So that last drive, they went with Thomas, Daniel Thomas, I believe his name is.
Daniel Thomas, number 2.
Yeah, number 2.
Okay.
So he was because Brand, they had one more drive. The Cowboys, it was that garbage time drive.
So he was in there.
It was Daniel Thomas that went in.
I mean, he has some starting experience.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's not too bad.
And then you're hoping Kirby's gonna be back at some point, but who knows?
I don't know what's going on with Kirby, man.
I don't think he knows what's going on with himself.
I don't think he knows either.
Yeah, it's a weird situation right now with his knee. I mean, he's now missed about 2 months. I mean, he hasn't played since the Kansas City game, and he's been out for a long time. And it seems like the staff and the medical staff, I mean, they didn't place him in IR, so I feel like they had some optimism and some hope that it wasn't a long-term thing. But now he's been out for 2 months. You're open now with this mini bye. Hopefully, maybe you can see some more practice time this upcoming week, and maybe you can get him for one of these games coming up in the stretch run, if it's LA or Pittsburgh or Christmas, whatever it is. But we need some guys right now in that defensive background.
It'll be ideally to get him back for this Rams game, because this is it. This is gonna be a tough one. That's gonna be a tough one right there.
That's not a guy like Stafford's not a quarterback you want to make communication mistakes with.
No.
Because that's a guy that will eat you alive if you have communication issues.
Yeah.
And the Rams are so – we'll talk about the Rams a little later in the week, but they are such like a team that schemes guys open. They're very advanced. That's Sean McVay style, right? So the Lions got to be on their toes, man. They got to be ready to go. Because that's not going to be an easy game.
It's not, man. And I'm going to say this. Like we said, we're not going to preview too much of that game. This game was a good test to lead up to that game, because we were playing 2 dynamic receivers, even though one got hurt at halftime. We were playing against a dynamic quarterback, and we were playing against a really explosive offense. And what I wanted to see the most is that us being able to play good football against a team over 500. And, coming to this game, the Cowboys was over 500. And the Lions pretty much dominated this game. You're talking about all phases of this game. They dominated. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign leading to the next game. So we just got to carry it over.
One more thing I want to highlight that was, you said all 3 phases. We didn't talk about the third phase. Tom Kennedy, man.
Woo!
That's our new kick returner. He was dynamic today, man.
That guy, man.
He was great, man. Tom Kennedy is the definition of consistent. Just show up to the office every day and do your job.
First of all, how long has Tom Kennedy been on this damn Lions team?
I believe since 2017.
Since 2017. Yes. This man is, and you know what? He's been on our practice squad.
Yeah, not active roster very often.
Not even active roster, just here. just on the practice squad, grinding it out. We may find a role for him. He may, may have a role for him now.
The former lacrosse player, man. I mean,
player.
What a story for Tom Kennedy. And it kind of reminds me of, it's a guy, it's a different position, but a guy that kind of grinded it out and stuck it through and with the practice squad and now finally got an active roster. Dan Skipper. He's the Dan Skipper of receivers right now. And he's carving out a role here with the active roster, and I think he has a role going forward for this team, at least for the 2025 season. If at the very least he has a role for the 2025 season, he is my kick return for the rest of the way. He has been the most dynamic kick returner we've seen this year for us.
I mean, think about it. Did he ever make the initial roster? Has he ever made the initial roster? For
out of camp? Probably not. Maybe. I doubt it. And if he was probably cut the week after or 2 weeks after.
Yeah, I don't think he has.
Yeah.
Man, shout out to him, man. I'm happy for him. I'm really happy for him.
Yeah, the way I used to look at Tom Kennedy was he was just the modern day Jace Billingsley, the guy that's going to have a good preseason. And if you're a true one, if you remember who Jace Billingsley is.
A lot of people probably are like, who? Who is that?
If you remember Jace Billingsley.
Who the hell is that?
You are a true one. You are an OG Lions fan. But that's who I thought Tom Kennedy was, just the guy that's going to have a great preseason, little white boy slot receiver, but never really make a role in the NFL roster. But TK, man, some big catches on Thanksgiving when Amon-Ra went down. Having some big kick returns out there today. Shout out to Tom Kennedy, man. I mean, like I said, man, we've had some kick returners, and I love Khalif Raymond. He's a really good player. I like Tom Kennedy in that role more than Raymond, honestly. I think Tom Kennedy is a more dynamic kick returner than Khalif Raymond. So I'm sticking with my boy TK the rest of the way.
What about punt return?
Who was the punt return? I'm trying to think.
Khalif Raymond. Khalif.
I mean, who was it like now?
I don't know.
Was it TK?
I think it was. I think TK took over since he went down.
So it's been the punt return for the last. I honestly can't recall. I'm curious because I didn't know if it was him or Sailors. But
to be honest with you, man, these last few games, I don't think other teams even punted much. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you, man.
Well, he had that one punt, so it was Tom Kennedy. Yeah, we had one punt. One punt for 21 yards. Yeah, no, stick with it. TK. You know what? I would probably take Leaf as a punt returner, but as a kick returner, I'm going TK.
So let me ask you. This might be a tough question right here. When Khalif comes back, do you cut Khalif Raymond?
No. Khalif Raymond's still my punt returner.
So he's still your punt returner.
I still stick with my punt returner.
Okay.
And then I think he still has a role in this offense.
Okay.
But yeah, I still think. I mean, like, we have a guy like Dominic Lovett on the roster. No offense to the guy, but barely seen the field. Even with the injury of Raymond, he was the punt returner who stepped in during the games when TK wasn't on the roster, and he obviously hasn't covered a role. They prefer TK, so no, Khalif Raymond still definitely has a role on this team.
Okay,
but if anything, if you're making room there, I'd probably say Lovett might be the odd guy out.
Ooh. So what, you gonna put him back in the practice squad, or you gonna?
Yeah, I'd probably waive him, and hopefully he clears, and you bring him back to the P squad if he clears.
That's interesting.
He's young though, so that might be a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, I know they've been developing him, and I think they have a bright future for him. I think they see a lot in him.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not getting rid of Khalif or TK right now. TK is a spot on this roster for me right now.
Oh, so going forward is TK.
The
Tom Kennedy show.
For the rest of this season, I like him, man. He's been dynamic. I mean, you see with this new kickoff, these yards. I mean, they could change a game, man. I mean, you could get on the 40-yard line now. These are big yards that you could be picking up now. It's not like the old kickoff rules where you're just taking touchbacks every play. I mean, kickoffs matter. Really, they're really important now.
They are.
And we've seen it with Sailors. We've seen it with Raymond. They've been all right at it, but I think TK brings a different dynamic, and he's been setting up the offense in good position.
Yeah, he has. This as far as this game, he has.
I thought he did well last game too in Green Bay. I mean, people were just pissed off and don't really remember, and I don't blame you. But
yeah,
and the 2-game sample size, I've been impressed with what TK's been doing there at kick return.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Keep him. Tom Kennedy show. Let's go.
And then another thing I'll add on special teams, Jake Bates. had a couple big field goals, got blocked for one, but I thought Dan Campbell too. Very smart. No fourth downs today. I thought just played the game right today, man.
Finally,
just take my points. Take my points on it. I don't need to go for
chess. He played chess. Finally,
I liked it today, man. He was just very sane. Everything was normal today with Dan, and took his points when he needed to take the points. And Jake Bates delivered for the most part outside the block.
You know what? I'm trying to think about it. I think he just wasn't in position to go for it on fourth down. I'm thinking about it. Do you have anything fourth? Anything?
They have like a 4th and 5, I think.
It's usually like 4th and 4.
It's like 4th and 4 and shorter, yeah.
That's when he's like automatically going for it.
Yeah, I don't think they had like a 4th and 3 or 4th and 2 or anything like that.
You know what? I won't be completely convinced when we're in like the red zone area, and maybe it's like 4th and 3 or 4th and 4. Let's say 4th and 4.
He's not. No, he's still going for it. He's not changing his mindset. But I'm okay.
You want to take the points?
I'm okay with aggressiveness at certain points. Like if you're an aggressive coach, die by the sword, right? But there's got to be a certain extent where that we're doing too much here. And sometimes you just got to take points, and especially when you're leading the game, man, just make it a 3-score game. Turning a 15-point lead to an 18-point lead is ginormous, in my opinion. Some people don't look at it that way, but I look at it that way. I think it's a ginormous leap from going from 15 points to 18 points. You go from a 2-possession game to a 3-possession game just off a field goal. Sometimes people just get too reckless and say we need touchdowns every drive. Touchdowns are great, but points are really nice too.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Because they add up.
They do.
3, 6, 9. You kick 3 of them, you have 9 points. They add up. So
look at the Dallas Cowboys.
They came back.
They were kicking some field goals, and we were up 27-9 at one point, and they eventually scored some touchdowns. Like you're gonna need the touchdowns eventually, but if points are there, take the points. Yeah, and I'm not gonna say every time, but
because you look at their situation. That last field goal that they went for may have, but I don't think it would have made a difference because even if they would have scored and we would have been up by 3. We went down and scored again, so it would have been up by 10 versus it would have just been 14, So I don't think it would have mattered regardless.
I was thinking that because I was saying that field goal actually kind of gave the line some time opportunity to go out there and go score a field goal themselves and kind of go match it. But you could play the vice versa. If you don't pick up that 4th down, then you're giving Detroit great field position, and you come out with 0 points, and now Detroit has an opportunity for a touchdown, and if not a touchdown, a very good shot for at the very minimum a field goal.
Yeah.
So you lose 3 points instead of just taking a tie going into half.
Yeah.
So
it was either way. I see why you did it.
Yeah, 100%. So, all right. That's pretty much we got Oopsy Doopsy and Baller of the week.
Yeah, we do.
All right. Let's start off with the Baller of the week.
All right, let's go with it, man. All right, so with the Baller of the week, man, I'm just gonna make this really quick, man. This is a guy who's probably had this title multiple times this year. Probably, I don't know how many times I gave it to him. I don't know how many times I gave it to him this year, but he's gonna get it again. You know what? No, I'm gonna go a different route here. All right, I'm gonna go a different route. I was gonna give it to Jahmyr Gibbs for the 3 touchdowns. And
you sound like you're in a bubble right now, Malcolm.
Oh, it does? Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
Okay, yeah. So I was gonna give it to Jahmyr Gibbs, for having the 3 touchdowns, and tying Barry Sanders. But I'm actually going a different route here. I'm going a different route. I'm doing an audible. I'm going with Al-Qadim Muhammad with the 3 sacks today. Al-Qadim Muhammad showing them big for this defense today. 3 sacks. Guaranteed going to get drug test tomorrow. He's going to be Baller of the week today. He's going to be Baller of the week for this week. So I'm giving it to Al-Qadim Muhammad. Let's go.
All right. Let's do the.
I'm going to put that out there.
I have no argument. Jahmyr Gibbs did have 3 touchdowns, but he's had enough of them. He's had enough Baller of the week.
He had too much, man.
Give Al-Qadim some hardware. I'm down for it. I like it.
Let's go.
Okay, I'm cool with it. All right. Oopsy Doopsy of the week.
Oh, boo-hoo. Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
See, this violin doesn't hurt anymore when you win games. And when it's like the funny oopsie doopsie of the week, it doesn't hurt. Last week, I wanted to just fucking punch my laptop. I said, screw this, you know? When I'm hearing this on Thanksgiving, I don't want to hear it. It's like the intro video. I love it. I love Stevie Nicks. I don't want to hear Stevie Nicks right after a loss versus the Packers. I'm sorry. Yeah. And that's how I feel about this. Like right now, I'm in a good mood. This is a good oopsie doopsie of the week. And, you know, play it again. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, sure. Okay, we're good. Oopsie doopsie of the week. So when I came into it, I was pretty locked in. I'm gonna go DJ Reed. I thought DJ Reed had a rough game. He was getting picked on, but then he got an interception. So I'm like, I can't give it to a guy that had an interception in the game, regardless if you think it was a meaningful one or not. It was an interception, so I can't go that route. So I have one route for you guys, and you guys are probably so confused by this, and you probably think, who would even think about this? He is a superstar in this city.
Huh?
I called him an ethical hooper earlier in this pod. It's Cade Cunningham. And you know why I'm going oops doops for Cade Cunningham? The Pistons didn't play today.
What?
Cade Cunningham is a Dallas Cowboys fan. Was in attendance at Ford Field today.
Wearing a Cowboys jersey?
Wasn't wearing a Cowboys jersey, but goes on the Thursday Night Football broadcast and actively says, you know who I'm cheering for. I don't have to say it publicly, but the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. So my oopsie doops of the week.
Oh shit! No,
this
no.
This is my guy. This is Detroit's guy. That I want to believe that wasn't Cade Cunningham, but it was Cade Cunningham. So oopsie doops of the week is going to be Cade Cunningham, and it has nothing to do with his basketball. It's just for that garbage take that he had today.
He's a Cowboys fan.
He's from Dallas.
Oh, he's from Dallas?
Yeah.
I mean, he had to use some.
I'll give him a slide. He's from Dallas, but yeah, he's a Cowboys fan, which is just gross. Because I hate the Cowboys, like almost as much as I hate the Packers and Bears.
Wow. Yep. Oopsie doopsie of the week. Go to him. I agree.
Yeah, I know. Nobody's perfect. Yeah, I know. I thought the dude was perfect. I thought the dude was great. Still my guy. Look, we got a game tomorrow. Hopefully, he goes balls. We need a little bounce back after that loss with Milwaukee. So, yeah.
You guys lost in Milwaukee?
No, don't want to talk about it. But
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah, Giannis gets hurt like the first couple minutes of the game. You think it's gonna be an easy win, and it just brick. It
was a thought, and I just blurted it out. I didn't even mean to say it.
It's all right. We're still in one of these. You know, we're gonna. We'll be Portland tomorrow, and we'll be good.
Okay.
But yeah, oopsie of the week. I never thought I would give it to this guy because first, we don't cover the Pistons, and two, I just never thought I'd give it to Cade Cunningham in general. So even if we did cover the Pistons, Cade Cunningham is oopsie of the week. So
wow.
All right, that's gonna be a wrap. Hope you guys all enjoyed. Victory Friday tomorrow. Enjoy that. You know, what's better than that? You know, you see a Lions victory on Thursday, and then you go into a weekend with a victory. Great. Yeah. It's great. And now you got a little mini bye. Hopefully the Lions get right. Big game next week. LA Rams. We'll preview that later on in the week, so stay tuned for that. And then, yeah, we'll be live on Sunday before the game and after the game. So come join us then. And that's all I got for you guys now. Hope you guys all enjoyed. Enjoy your Victory Friday. Enjoy your football weekend with the Lions victory. And I'm out, guys. Peace.
All right, y'all. It's your boy Malcolm, and I am out, man. Peace.